Okay, let's try some rapid chess. Go d4 to a Queen's Gambit. Indian defense. Okay, this is the modern Benoni. Usually, it used to look like this. You still see it, but now what happens is you play d4, knight f6, c4, and then the delayed c5. So I push the pawn. See what he does. Okay. Now there's okay. So he's gonna stick this bishop in the corner and target essentially the rook. Oh gosh, what do we have here? There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna push e4. Take space in the center. Okay, so now this is going to be pressured. We're going to protect some central pawns. The knight sometimes likes to get here. Okay, now a knight is free. It's no longer pinned to the king. So what to do? So one idea is to basically start shoving pawns up into the black king side, which I might do. Also, I want to dislodge this. This is a very strong defensive network. So if I come here and start shoving here and then here, that could be good. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, he's pressuring here. He wants to take this. I think we have to go. Well, we don't have to go here because this protects it. Let's go over here. Have to take. Okay. Basically has to move it back, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, this is nice. Okay. If it goes over here, probably have to move the queen over here. Ah, that is a nice move. That's a bad move. He should have moved over there. Alright, so let's see. So if I push the pawn, take, I win this pawn, I lose this pawn. Can I live with that? I can live with that. Let's do it. He has to move it back. Otherwise, he will lose knight. I can move it here, I guess. It's kind of weird. Kind of a weird move. So this turned into a King's Indian defense. How did that happen? Oh, he hasn't played d6. Oh, he did play d6. Oh, okay. Now, what do I want to do? I'm going to lose this pawn anyway. So either I push here, and then my bishop stays there forever, or go here, he takes, ugh. Let's do it. I'm happy to lose this. And then queen's gonna go here. That's a nice move. Okay. I like this move. Well, so what does he have? He can go here. That just forces me this way. Okay, the attack here is pretty devastating. This is an adios rook situation. So maybe here. He has to come back. Let's go. This is protected, so should we go here for check? No, it's not checkmate because of this. Oh, that would have been nice though. So, how to get checkmate here? This is a pretty devastating attack. Here, check, and then he'll have to come back, and come. It's kind of annoying actually. Oh, then I come back this way. Yeah, alright. And then I come back here, and then I take the undefended bishop. Oh, interesting. He decides, doesn't really want it. This is kind of a nice tactic to try and lure the king into a dangerous spot. I think I'm going to do it. Right, so the point of this, you sacrifice a pawn in order to get the king more into this danger area here. At the moment, he was kind of a bit safe hiding behind these pawns. And the reason being that this knight controls this, saves this bishop, which then covers sort of these squares. So now he's screwed, is the conclusion. He's absolutely 100% buggered. Comes here. We have this move here. Okay, this has to be checkmate in one. There we go. GG. And that's quite clean. Let's see what the engine says. Okay, not great. Not great. I was fanning about apparently. What did I do? What was my mistake? So instead of putting the bishop on g5, you just take space in the center. And then I start, yeah, that's a bad move. Now black's better. Interesting. So like this. Huh, what was the best move? Oh, wow, that's such like a GM move. Why? Why move the king to safety? What's the idea there? That's like so... Like, this is why chess is so difficult. What the hell is that about? Okay, yeah, that was the fatal blunder here, because I'm clearly lining up a terrible attack here. Okay, now mate in 5. Did I fuck this up? There we go. Mate in 4. Yeah. 3. Ah. So that was the right move here. I thought it was at the time. I just didn't play it. Well, I realised it just after I... Ah, okay. That's just a mistake. So you could take it. There we go. This is quite nice. This is what I'm talking about here. You sacrifice this pawn. he has to take it. And then you get the king into this danger zone. Oh my god, I'm still messing around with this checkmate. What should I have done? Yeah, here. And he has to go here and then. Oh, no way. Knight checkmate. Very nice. Okay, that was good. That was a good little game. We're at 1100. Let's play another. Nice, with the black pieces. Okay, so do you play Queen's Gambit declined or King's Indian defense? Let's go King's Indian defense. Okay, I don't. Oh, this is interesting. I don't see this kind of opening at my level, I will say. What my level is exactly, I'll leave open to interpretation, but yeah, that's kind of unusual. Usually you play the king's knight here, f3. Okay. You kind of see some weird stuff from these really average players around this level. But also what I find is that if you play sort of below, there's a certain level where opponents play kind of weird things and it's really hard to play accurately because the openings are weird and there are loads of mistakes and opportunities and the games tend to be quite messy. I feel like the better the opponent, the more kind of solid and accurate the games tend to be. Okay, this is bad play immediately. I think this is bad because it opens up the king. Makes you'll have doubled pawns, which you never really want. Pimskio is wondering whether he should take the piece back, which is a long time for that. Now we basically want to take the center here, so we want command over these squares. In chess, generally you want to take space in the center, develop your pieces, and put your king in safety. So he currently has not put his king in safety. He's losing control of the center, and he's kind of developed his pieces. This one's still undeveloped, but that's fine. So the question is, do we want to take this, force the king out? Oh, this is quite nice. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. You have to be careful of tactics like this if he can first take, it's called an intermezzo, so something like an in-between move, a waiting move. Say for example, if this knight was, if it was here and here, and the knight was on this square, it would be dangerous because he could first take here with check, forcing you to take back, and then the queen could then take the piece. So you've got to be a bit careful with those sorts of ideas. So we don't want to take this because this will be an annoying pawn and it will defeat the point of forcing him to have doubled pawns on this side. A bit tempted with this move here, but he will castle first. I tell you what. Oh, this is a very weakening move. Never play f6 with black or f3 with white. Weakens your king so much. The other problem is when you play sort of weaker players, you get quite tempted to make bullshit moves, which you shouldn't do. Because you can kind of get away with it knowing that you're probably better than them. It's not a good strategy. Why don't I... Yeah, tough. Not easy to know what to do. Chess is hard. Chess is hard. Okay. Just develop my bishop, but my bishop, if he takes it, which he shouldn't do. I mean, actually, maybe I should just take it because this knight's, excuse me, this knight's very annoying. Doesn't have many squares though. Oh, this is good. Maybe if I go here and takes, then castles. I've kind of lost my initiative in a way. This is a waiting move. Okay. He'll definitely castle kingside. It would be crazy to castle queenside after he's pushed these pawns. So now, do I double target this square? Yeah, you know what, I will. Because, well, this will be most defended. This one will be the weak square. Okay, we'll target h6. I think he will... Well, what will he do? If he castles, he loses this pawn. Oh, interesting. That is a curious move. So he wants to protect this. He wants to protect it. Well, what about if I go... There's no real benefit to that. Okay, so now what we've simply done is put 3 attackers onto this knight, onto the horsey. He only has 2 defenders. I don't think there's any way of defending this again, and if he can move it over here, so that's something he can do, but he'll lose this. He'll definitely lose this pawn, which is the whole point of this attack. In chess, you often do a lot to make small advantages, and this is a good example. Oh shit, I didn't really see that. But this is a crap move because the king's very weak and I have a light squared bishop. But wow, okay, didn't see that, I will say. Oh no, that doesn't make any difference. It defends this pawn, but nothing else. So this loses this knight, and then that rook is adios as well. So this is a completely losing move. What am I talking about here? I didn't see this, but it's because it didn't do anything. I didn't see it because it was a terrible move. I mean, I make shit moves, but that was really shit. That was an awful move. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't do anything, unfortunately. The problem is that you take this knight, and these, it's a check and a fork. A fork is when you take a piece and you... a fork is the move where you target 2 pieces here, and in this case it's the rook and the king. Okay, so quite simply we just win a full rook. You might move here to try and... okay, GG. My sense is that that was a very accurate game, but I'm probably wrong. I don't have any more free reviews, so I can't do an analysis of the game through the review function. But let's see, were there any glaring opportunities that I missed? So this is the bar that shows you who is winning by how many points The points represent pieces. The computer's very good at accurately telling you what the score is during the game. And then up here are the best 3 moves according to the computer. Up here, sorry. Alright. A6, no. Okay, this is fine. He wanted me to play C5. I mean, this is all okay. That's the best move. C5. Yeah. C takes D. Yeah. Queen takes. Bishop C5. This is all best move. I love this. Ah, okay, so here it wanted me to take E5. I was fanning about for ages, wondering whether I should take this or not, but I thought not to take it, because then if he took it, if he took my knight, then I could develop my bishop sort of for free, so to speak, but actually his knight's very powerful here, so I should have taken it, which I eventually ended up doing. Okay, Queen C7 is what it wanted. Oh, Queen F6 is also fine. That was also good. Okay, so that was a huge blunder. So knight takes. Took back with the pawn, which was even worse. What it wanted was rook d1 or long castle. So castling on the queen side here. But that would be super vulnerable. Okay, here we go. And then GG. GG, GG. Let's do another. These games actually are quite short, which is really nice. They're 10 minutes each, so in theory they could be 20 minutes, but oh gosh, that I thought it was my move. I'm glad he didn't do something like make a move that I would have lost a piece there. Okay, so here and then back. If he pushes this pawn, that's okay. Take the center, d5. Now, what do we do? I think we just develop to here. So presumably castles, castles. Get that king to safety. And then often white likes to play a rook there. Okay, he's stopping this move. Now if I go here, let's go here. Alright. This pawn push is coming. He'll have to stick his bishop back here, which is okay. That's a totally fine move. Maybe I stick my bishop there and then threaten a sacrifice on h3. Okay. We'll let Nadia have a big old think about this. Okay. Now, we either take it or we push it. Or we... Okay. Or we just play this. How about that? Ah. No, this is fine. Because if he takes it, we take here, he takes here, and then you have this nice idea, this sacrifice over here with check, which exposes an undefended queen. So let's see if he goes for it. Usually 1100s don't fall too badly for those kinds of tricks. But we'll see. It's the kind of thing that you do when you just, you're not thinking. You move instant. Yeah, okay, he fucked it up. This is quite nice. Will he take it? Will he take it? Oh, okay. He realized the error of his ways. So. Now we're a full piece up. Let's target this square. Look at this. This king is fucking boxed in. Now, do we want a queen? Tell you what we'll do. I want him to take with a rook. Yes. Oh my god. I didn't see that. Oh, okay, fair. Oh my god, he's so crap. I mean, what a terrible move by me. But for him not to see that is dreadful. God, we're both shit. We are both god-awful. Alright, well this is some terrible chess content. Fuck me. Fuck me. Why am I so bad at this game? Why am I so bad at this game? Okay. Let's go over here. Go here. And then we go here. For checkmate. Ah, right. God, I can't believe how shit that was. It's so easy to make mistakes in chess. But hopefully, at this level, people don't punish you too badly. Oh my god, that was god awful. Let's go here. This is another fork. The idea is that here, you're attacking both the knight and the rook. So what I'm doing here is trying to force the opponent to make a move on my terms, because I want my rook here. So currently I can't put my rook here because the knight... Okay, so one fork to another. One fork to another. So here, what I was doing was trying to force the knight to capture my knight. Yeah. Right, so that my rook could come here and sort of strangle the king, and then I could, because my bishop is protecting the h2 square, I could give it a nice check here and then take this pawn and start hoovering up white's pieces, and then the end would be very near. But instead, what our unfortunate fellow does is not take the piece and attack our knight with the rook. Of course, the problem is that I would be able to capture the knight for free and at the same time threaten both rooks. And this is a classic fork. So that was terrible, and that's why our opponent resigned. Ooh, I made one terrible blunder. Oh yeah, I did, yeah. No, we know that. This was the terrible blunder. He should have just taken it. Then I probably would have had to retreat like this, and then he could probably go here, and then this was just awful. Okay, onwards and upwards. Should we do one more? Let's do one more. I'm kind of disrespecting these 1100s with my crap chess, but winning quite easily. Okay, this is another beginner kind of mess of a trick, or an idea that a lot of beginners do, is they move their queen out early. Basically never ever do this, because what happens is that if you don't, unless the only reason you do this is because you're crap, your opponents are crap, and you think that they will make mistakes and then you'll win the game easily, or they'll make a big blunder because the queen is a scary piece, and then you can kind of pick up on their really bad mistakes. The problem is that once you get to a decent level, and that's quite loosely defined, what you end up doing is allowing your opponent to develop his pieces while threatening your queen, and all the while the queen is kind of racing around the board. And while their queen is doing that, you're developing your pieces, which means that if you think about, in chess, it's a turn-based game. So each turn is kind of like a unit of time on the board, right? It takes time to move for example, if you want your king to move over here, it takes many turns or many kind of time, too many time. It takes a lot of time for your king, or turns, and each of those turns, called a tempo in chess, that's the kind of resource that you have when you play chess. So by playing around with your queen a lot, or moving one piece many times, you forego the opportunity to develop your other pieces, which wastes time and gives your opponent a big advantage in terms of time. So I hope that was a bit of a ramble, but important chess content, chess instruction, given that our opponent is demonstrating why we don't fanny about with the queen. So what he's doing here is that he's hoping that I basically develop my bishop, and then he can ruin my castling and my king safety. Oh my word, this guy's terrible. By moving the bishop, then he takes this pawn, which becomes a big vulnerability for me. I have to deal with how to protect my rook and everything. No, instead, our crap opponent is still trying to fanny about with his queen. So now he's moved his queen 4 times in 6 moves. So wasting a lot of time on the board, so to speak. A lot of turns are being used with his shit ideas. Yeah. This is why he's stuck in the 1100s, unfortunately. So what we want to do now is to castle. Okay, so now taking this will no longer force us to take it back because the king is no longer threatened. So now we do this. What we do here is that we've unpinned the king. The knight threatens the rook. Sorry, the knight threatens the queen. I can't speak. All the while we're exposing this bishop to be captured, and the queen can't move to a place that can capture or recapture this bishop. So he's just lost a piece and he's lost the game because of his shit play and shit ideas. And that's how we punish people like this. There we go. Terrible. But yeah, so if you take anything from this game, do not fanny about with your queen at the beginning of the game. There are obviously a couple of exceptions in some openings, but they don't look like this. See this idea? Let's see. Let's see how bad what the engine says. Okay, so already, because he moved out the queen, you can see this says 1.15 over here. So what it means is that in this position, white is the equivalent of one whole pawn on the board up. Because the queen is losing so much time, this, in the long run, gives me a real material advantage of 1.5 pawns at this point. That's how bad it is. So you can literally quantify how bad this opening is. Okay, so this was not the best move, but I'm just kicking the queen away. I'm developing my pieces. The engine basically says this is fine. This is okay, because he's developed a piece of his own. I probably shouldn't have played this move, but there we are. He moves the queen again, so I go from 1.1 to 1.9, so basically 2 whole pawns of advantage at this point. Okay. That's fine, he's developing his pieces. Okay. Now this move here, by not moving the queen or taking, he had the either option of move this bishop away or take this knight or move the queen. This was the pivotal moment where he basically, it goes from 1.5 to 4.5, which is +3, which is a whole piece. Bishops are worth 3, bishops and knights. Yeah, he loses the game. Okay. So, as always, I'm shit, but my opponents were more shit. Thanks for tuning in.